All right, guys, we need to talk about some of this coverage, some of this defense that is being run by the games media, the games journalists out there, the people who are actively trying to keep this Gamergate 2 thing going, trying to do their best to shill for the corporations and to, make up every excuse to attack gamers, attack, straight white people. Even now, they're attacking Japanese people now. That's the craziest thing over this Assassin's Creed Yasuke situation. So this article from Inverse was pointed out to me the other day, and of course we talked about it last night. And the excerpt, if you Google search this article, actually says Assassin's Creed developers didn't have to explain their game to idiots. This is how these people view you. This is how they think about you as gamers. And of course, it doesn't just stop there. Ash Parrish, over at The Verge, has gone on some unhinged rants, basically calling the entirety of Japan a bunch of violently racist people. Okay, her exact words, violently racist, basically saying that they have some sort of alt-right, conservative, right-wing faction over there where they're all just, racist against black people. And all of this over the fact that Ubisoft decided to put a historical character into their fictional setting, when the reality is it's always been the reverse. Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed series has always had a fictional protagonist in a historical setting. Well, now they're trying to, run defense and apologize and say, no, our games have never been historical. We always have injected a large amount of fantasy and, fiction into this. But again, everybody knows better. It's like, look, we know why you chose this character. We know why you chose to use Yasuke instead of a Japanese samurai. But again, they've got the media out there running defense for him. Even Alyssa Mercante over at Kotaku put out this insane article just going after Mark Kern, going after Trump, going after right-wingers, going after gamers, straight white people, and then even Japanese people as a whole. Went after everybody but the people behind this game who just chose poorly when it came to what they were going to make their game and base it around. So she got into it with Eric Kane over at Forbes, who criticized her for her rhetoric. About the apology from Ubisoft, she's like, oh, maybe just say your racist response to a video game is indicative of moral decay, get bent, instead of apologizing. Like, these people are just absolutely insane. This is the games media at large. Another article that was pointed out to me by Deliberium today on Twitter, so shout out to him. This one here from Luke Plunkett, somebody who's been around a while, says Ubisoft has learned nothing in the last 10 years. You do not apologize to these people. Who are these people is what I want to know. Who does he think these people are? Well, if you go through the article, it's all the same thing. He singles out a minor conservative party in Japan trying and very much failing to make the game a political scapegoat, saying it's always been about black people. It has nothing to do with historical revisionism. You can kind of, piece together your own conclusion from what this article is all about. And again, this is a man who's landed himself a spot on Kotaku Detected over at SmashJT.com due to the fact that he has been running amok with all these other journalists for the last few months, ever since the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected Steam Curator page went up, and these people have all rallied together to attack specific targets. Like, they have a unified front where they defend certain games and they go after certain games. So, that being said, one of those games is none other than Black Myth Wukong. Now, some interesting factoids about this game. This is the first AAA game coming from this developer, Game Science. It's a Chinese company. And recently there was an article that came out from Niche Gamer, a bunch of other websites, about a rumor that supposedly a Sweet Baby Inc.-like DEI consulting company approached them and said, look, you guys have an image issue. Let's make a deal. You give us like $7 million and we'll fix your lack of diversity, we'll say. We'll fix your representation issue with how your game is going to be received by audiences everywhere. Now, to this point that we're at here, this rumor has never been confirmed, but it is very plausible given the fact that we are once again seeing the media running defense like hand and foot for freaking Assassin's Creed Shadows, but they continue to attack this game. You had people like David Jaffe, over the creator of God of War, who also recently thought that the Trump assassination attempt was fake, saying that, oh, you are just believing in the boogeymen now, talking about this possibility that Sweet Baby Inc. tried to extort Game Science. Oh no, what happened here? Our articles disappeared. There we go. And now today, we have this article from The Guardian. The Guardian, which is a crap website anyways, from a gentleman named Tom Reagan. Tom Reagan, who you'll notice is right here at the very top of previously worked at Kotaku on SmashJT.com. So it says here he's a freelance journalist for Kotaku, also The Guardian, GQ, Games Radar, IGN, Inverse, you name it. He's been on all of these websites. His article here says, Black Myth Wukong, the summer's most exciting and most controversial video game. Now, let's back up for a minute. Let's say that the game science rumors we're going to get into about the extortion and the story that IGN's been running about how they're all sexist. Let's just put that on the shelf for a second. You cannot argue that Helldivers 2 and the issue they had with the PSN login, or Stellar Blade and the backlash from the media, or even Assassin's Creed Shadows with the Yasuke controversy, that those aren't more controversial than this game here. There's nothing controversial about Black Myth Wukong other than the fact that IGN has tried to manufacture a controversy. So he's already being dishonest in his title. This game, Black Myth Wukong, is not the most controversial video game by a long shot, but it's the narrative that they're trying to craft around this game. So he goes on to say this beautiful looking action game is based on Journey to the West, the great Chinese novel, but its own journey to release has hit a bump in the road. You know what that bump in the road is? It is the freaking games media. Okay, that's what the bump in the road is. So we're going to skip past him talking about the game, go to the developer here. So a quote from Game Science says, "We are under great pressure. This is the first time that we've worked on a PC and console game, and we are also a new studio, so we would really like to thank how tolerant the players in the market is towards us. Their excitement encourages us. However, the thinking of Chinese people tends to be that we look at the risks, and therefore when we are faced with such great encouragement, the best thing we can do is try our best to satisfy the expectations of the players and to communicate with players in a very honest way." Now, that's a developer who gets it. That's somebody who is honest to God. He gets it. He understands it. Now you have the author here sharing his own side of the story. "I am, unfortunately, met with very little honest communication when I bring up a report from IGN which related alleged sexist comments from multiple developers at Game Science, as well as those in leadership roles. I present Ted with the opportunity to address the claims of misogynistic posts and whether he feels that they represent Game Science's values. Instead, I am shut down with a hasty no comment from their UK PR representative, and then after a long wait given a longer statement of no comment via Ted's translator. I am then told that Game Science's US PR agency will follow up later with a prepared statement, only to be sent the following: Game Science is focused on the demo at this time and will only answer questions related to gameplay. The same thing happened to IGN reporter at a demo in LA last month. It is disappointing. You can just hear that this is like dripping in condescension in this guy's voice. It's disappointing that Game Science is opting to invite journalists to speak to them and play the game, but refusing to answer their questions. Perhaps there is no reassurance to offer. A generous reading of the situation would be that this inexperienced studio is petrified of saying the wrong thing." No, there's a third option. They're telling you to get bent. Okay, that's what the third option is. "Yet in failing to say anything at all, Game Science is also failing to distance itself and its games from the multiple crude, disparaging, and misogynistic comments attributed to its employees and leadership." Now, let's back up a second. Go back a couple years. Ubisoft has been accused of horrible behavior up until the last couple years ago as a company when it comes to misogyny, sexism, harassment, all sorts of terrible things inside the company that were allowed to happen. But supposedly, they've cleaned up their image now. You got the games media running like mass defense for Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft as a whole. But for some weird reason, here they are going after a Chinese developer for no apparent reason because of a few supposedly or allegedly sexist remarks. It's absolutely bonkers. And again, they keep going back to the IGN article. Oh, the IGN article. And it's this one here by Rebecca Valentine and Nihun Chan, where they said how Black Myth Wukong developers' history of sexism is complicating its journey to the West. Going back to this original article, there were even things that were not translated properly, comments from the developers that weren't translated properly, where they were taken in the least charitable light by this gentleman, Nihun Chan, and put in this article simply to smear the developers. Okay? That's all this was. Now, if you look at some of the other writings from Tom Riggin here, he's got this one here from May, this banger. Now, I played Hellblade 2. The game was garbage. Absolutely garbage. I loved the first game. The second game was crap. He has this article in May. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 review. Nerve-shredding art house game is 2024's most unlikely blockbuster. That should tell you all you need to know about this guy's opinion. He is a complete idiot. All he does is run cover for the DEI games, attack the games that don't conform to their opinion, that don't conform to their narrative, and of course, you can see right here on his LinkedIn, Kotaku, SA Institute London. He's written for a whole bunch of different places. He is just, one of these guys where he's just going to bounce around back and forth from company to company, whether it's, Kotaku or Inverse or whatnot. And as they go out of business, he'll just keep peddling his shit to the next one in line. And that's honestly the worst part about it, is these people are like cockroaches. When one of these, journalist publications goes out of business, they just hop to the next one in line. So I'm going to leave it right there. We are going live in a couple minutes, guys. I'm going to be streaming some First Descendant. If you enjoy the video, maybe leave it a like and subscribe. Absolutely helps the channel grow. I've been blessed as anything to have you guys all here with me. We're at 7,300 subscribers right now, so that's huge. I can't even believe it. I'm going to leave it right there. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and I will see you on the live stream very shortly. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.